All right, fresh new week, Monday, November 11th. We're all kind of rocking and ready to go today. We're talking about a big Carvana stock sale, transparency gap closing with consumers, and here comes an IHOP/Applebees collab, the one you've been waiting for.
This is, I got so many comments on this one, and it's going to get sideways. I can feel it. Monday's going to get sideways. The ramp is going to happen by the end of this show. If you're in for it, stay for it, because it's going to be good.
We're here. We're here for this. We're here for this. We got a few things we want to talk about. There is an ASOTU Edge webinar this Friday. We had to postpone it. It was going to be last week. Now it's this week. You can go to ASOTU.com, and we are talking about auditing your 2024 ad performance with our friends at Stream Companies. This is part one of a two-part webinar. First, we're going to be walk you through, hey, here's some great ways to analyze your spend and your effectiveness. Part two is going to be how do we plan to improve on that? So this is a very timely and effective webinar with our friends at Stream Companies. We got Subi Ghosh, Drew Deal, Sarah West. We got the A team out here going to walk us through some practical things. So make sure you sign up and join that. We also, this Wednesday, mark it on your calendar. It's this week now, not next week. More Than Cars episode 4 is premiering on Wednesday, November 13th at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. What time is it? 1 p.m. Eastern? 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern.
So just the best way to watch that with us is to just join us on LinkedIn. So if you go to LinkedIn, search ASOTU, click on events, and then you'll see it right there. You can just join up, and we're in the comments. We're watching. We finally, people think we edit these way in advance. No, we don't. We're working hard around here. And last week we finally got the final edit locked.
Full drop.
Boy, is it awesome!
It's good. Yeah, you're gonna love it. Absolutely.
And if you've ever played 8-bit video games, you're gonna love it even more. You have to watch the episode to see what we mean by that. But it is an episode, I think, that really communicates the fun, the competitive nature, and just the overall. I think a lot of dealerships will see themselves in Mohawk. Yeah. Right.
I think it's a very I can see myself in that, right? The competitive nature, all of the things going on.
Absolutely. And we also don't want to forget, I probably should have did this at the top of the show.
I know, I was about to do it. I'm glad you're doing it. Thank you.
Okay, you do it. We didn't even talk about this, but I know you're going to do what I was going to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, we just today is Veterans Day, and especially all across the auto industry, there are so many veterans in the industry. It is, for some reason, it is an industry ripe with veterans across the dealer side, the OEM side, the industry partner side.
Hard work, challenge, teamwork, serving the community. I wonder why.
We know what's necessary. That community knows what's necessary, similar to the auto community. And for all the veterans out there that have served our country, and maybe even that are still serving our country, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people in the reserves and that. Just thank you. It's a role that probably Paul and I would not ever play, right? And so it's something that I look to those people and it's so grateful, because it's something that is not easy to do, to leave your families and to serve in that way, and to see what you've seen. So on this day, know that you are thanked and remembered and blessed. So
indeed. And one difference between Kyle and I is now I'm so old they don't want me anymore.
Get out. You'll be a strategist. You're a great strategist.
Speaking of being so old.
Oh no. Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Or should I say old and rich?
Old and rich.
Old and rich. Ernie Garcia II. So a lot of us know Ernie Garcia,
right?
The third CEO of Carvana, but the second, his father, founder of Drive Time and major investor in Carvana, has strategically sold 1.4. Get the B ready. $1 billion of Carvana stock since April. Oh, it's a lot of money, benefiting from this rally in the company's share price amidst this amazing restructuring and turnaround. So Mr. Garcia II, the older guy, has offloaded 10 million shares, transitioning his Class B stock into Class A shares for liquidation. He still controls 69.2 million shares.
Couple two tree.
Making up the core of his, get this, $17.6 billion fortune. His last sell-off was in 2021 when shares had peaked then. The stocks rebound from under $4 at 2020. I know a lot of dealers that bought Carvana stock.
Oh, they did
personally.
Oh yeah.
And he held it until it's at 240. A lot of them sold at like $25. I just quadrupled my money, right? Well, Yet Sehun, a finance professor at University of Michigan, said, quote, he might just have other alternatives and other investments, or maybe he expects the stock could fall. It's better to sell early than late. Who knows? But in this article, I don't know what it is, but there's a list of people he is richer than, and it was pretty impressive.
It is impressive. Look, I'm going to go on record. I don't think this stock is dropping. I think used cars are going to be hot in the next 12 to 18 months, and Carvana is going to get a large share of that market, and it's going to be up to dealers and the whole industry to keep it rolling at the speed that I think the used car industry is going to go. And so I'm on the side of, I'm just on the opinionated side that he's just got other things he wants to do with that cash, because my guess is Carvana is up and to the right, just like I think the majority of auto dealers are going to be over the next 12 to 18 months. Interest rates are dropping. Political landscape is changing. There's still a lot of opportunity in the market from sideline buyers. It's going to be fine.
And anecdotally speaking, just been hearing from a lot of dealers that banks are just starting to get more aggressive.
You're right.
And that is a massive recipe for success, especially in used cars.
Especially in used cars, and especially when we are still dealing with some leftover negative equity, and you start to see a little bit of opening in loan to value rates.
Absolutely.
Buying a little deeper to those people that are probably more affected by upside down trades. Like, it's going to be good.
What a great time to talk about consumer transparency and trust.
Segue.
What a great time.
It is a good segue. Thanks, Ernie. Capital One's 2024 Buying Outlook. This new report highlights the role of trust and transparency in car buying, emphasizing the opportunity for dealers to bridge the digital and in-person experience. That opportunity still exists, apparently. 88% of buyers complete at least half of the car buying process in person, which is up 5% from 2023, underscoring the fact that people still like to do things at the dealership. Dealer tools are popular for the early steps, the shopping, research, and all that. However, once it starts to get down and dirty, people like to do the things in the dealership. Trust is driving loyalty. Buyers more than twice than likely to return to a dealer they say they trust. No surprise there. With, get this, here's the big one. Almost half of them are willing to pay more if they feel secure in the relationship.
Absolutely.
Holy crap.
That's right.
Half are saying, we'll give you more money. It doesn't need to be the best price.
Nope.
How about that?
It absolutely doesn't.
We have a graph to put up. Let's put the graph up. Transparency is important. While 73% of dealers see the process as, quote, very transparent or completely transparent, only 55% of buyers agree. So here's the graph. It shows from March 2022 all the way through June of 2024. And basically, I got to make this bigger on my screen. I'm doing it right now.
Look, the story is that over the last 3 years, it's gone from 40% of consumers agree it's transparent, all the way dipping to 27% in July 2022.
And then what happened
in just 2 months after that, in September of 2022, we had ASOTU, and since then it's been steadily on the rise.
We're not saying it's the reason.
I'm not saying 55% now.
So it's 55%. The gap is closing, but there's still a big gap.
This is what's interesting to me is that gap doesn't just need to tighten. In my opinion, it actually has to flip, right? Because we've been in a situation where there's not parity between the dealer stance and the consumer stance. In order to actually achieve parity, the consumer has to overbelieve that the process is so transparent that the dealer is actually trying to catch up to the belief in transparency in order for there to be trust, right? You have to literally flip right there.
That's vision casting. I'm not saying that we're Batman. I'm just saying we've never been seen in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but look, this is what the More Than Cars movement is all about. It's telling the truth about car dealers that they desire deeply to be honest, to be transparent, to serve the community, to be great places to work. All of that adds together into one word, trust. And the more people trust, the more they're actually, it feels dirty saying this, but it's like we're capitalists, we're for profit, we're being responsible with what we do with those profits. More trust leads to more money. It's just a cause and effect thing, right? I mean, Brian Benstock maybe said this better than anybody, but the reality is this graph there's a gap. There's a 20% gap. That means 75% of us aren't self-aware, right?
Yep.
There's a 25% self-awareness gap. And like, we think, oh, well, we're fully transparent. Customers are like,
you know what I actually think it is? You know what I think it is?
What, the gap?
It's the gap is actually 73% aren't self-aware. That's a dangerous thing to say. But like, I believe that
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
because 73% we believe we're this high.
We believe we are transparent,
and we're
but
not.
The consumer has not felt that, which means that at some level, that group has not seen the consumer position on this. And until that group sees the consumer position and we flip to actually 100% believe we're transparent, which is because what I'm seeing is actually the ones that don't believe we're transparent. There's probably a small sliver that are like, I'm the one to blame.
Yeah.
But there's actually probably more of those that are self-aware of the entire industry, that are looking at the entire industry as a whole saying, nope, we haven't achieved the transparency or the trust, more appropriately, that we need to. And so the self-awareness is of the 73% to look at the 55% of the consumers and go, whoop, we actually have it wrong. Maybe it's a communication issue. Maybe it's a pattern of sales issue. Whatever it is, we haven't achieved that parity until we do.
I like what you're saying, because it's not saying like mostly right is good enough.
Right.
It's like, no, we have it wrong. We have it wrong. We need to get it right. Speaking of getting it right, but debatably,
you're going to be able to eat all day because Applebees and IHOP are launching their first ever dual branded location in the United States, set to open in Seguin, Texas in early 2025. The site will combine Applebee's lunch and dinner with IHOP's breakfast and brunch, maximizing obviously both brands' peak hours. With a shared kitchen and cross-trained staff, this setup aims to cut costs and improve profitability, hopefully trying to like bolster struggling locations for both. It will feature a drive-through to meet demand for off-premise dining. A drive-through at an Applebee's.
That feels like two changes.
You're kidding me? Dine Brands is the brand that is leading the charge. They plan to roll out 15 dual-branded locations in the U.S., stating the addition of a second brand may improve unit economics. Dual branding has gained popularity in hospitality, obviously, notably with hotels combining two brands into one location.
Yeah, hotels are different.
This is like, okay.
What's the KFC combo that you see a lot?
Oh, right. Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut and KFC.
Come on.
Right? Like those two things don't go together.
They don't go together.
It's just the way to fit.
What's interesting to me.
But Applebee's and IHOP go together actually a lot better, I think.
They do. I think, they're
breakfast.
both. Well, breakfast.
IHOP says, no, IHOP serves lunch and dinner, but IHOP doesn't serve alcohol.
Right.
So now you can have IHOP. I don't know is it 24 hours? I don't know.
IHOP pancakes with
mimosas. But now at IHOP you have mimosas, Bloody Marys, right? like what could possibly go wrong? Right.
I think this is actually they've mislabeled it. This is just what's the restaurant that starts with a P?
Perkins.
This is just Perkins.
Well, no, I don't know. Perkins is Denny's. Like, I don't agree. Nathan's putting in notes. Can I order breakfast all day? That's a great question.
Oh, see, it's going to get, but here's the thing. This, like, yes. Could you create a new restaurant? Could Dine Brands just be like, wipe them out, create a new restaurant that serves breakfast, lunch, dinner overnight? No, you can't, because there's something unique about Applebee's. There's something unique about IHOP, and that little combination. It's like when you can get brunch and lunch and they're both well qualified, and someone gets a burger and someone gets the brunch, like this is going to be a good thing, I think.
Jason reading the live stream. Okay, the Applebee's and IHOP news slaps.
There you go. It slaps really good.
And if you don't know what that word means, that means it's really good.
Yep.
It's a really good thing.
Jason Reed's down with the Gen Z.
He is. But here's the deal. I think there's a lot of opportunity for dealers to just think of local brands and local partnerships that they can make to draft on the brand equity, especially if you're an auto dealer and you have a good reputation. And back to the trust thing, you can actually bring a lot of juice and energy to a local business.
Yep.
Local businesses are always coffee shops, flower shops.
I'm telling you, I was actually talking to a guy out of Franklin that does like social media and content advertising for a dealership. And we did this back in the day, and it's the quickest way to build brand equity locally, especially with restaurants and coffee shops. Like, Give your social media person a $20 budget every single week. Get them in the car, drive to the coffee shop, order the thing, shoot it, go drive along with a salesperson, talk to the people, ask them about their business, spend your money at the local business intentionally, and then cross-post that joker. All those businesses are on Instagram, right?
Repost it. Thank you. You're going to become their favorite dealership in like 3 seconds.
Stop. Collabs are the way.
All right. Veterans Day is kicking off to be an amazing day, and I think rightfully so, celebrating all the things that we get to enjoy, like being able to just talk about IHOP and Applebee's on a podcast. Whatever it is, you have people in front of you, go and take care of them.